I'm Jay Froehlich. Thanks for watching this CrimeWatch digital exclusive where we take a look back at recent crime stories that have been making headlines in our area and across the state. Kyle police arrested a man accused of stalking and chasing a teenage girl at a convenience store. That man is now behind bars in the Hays County Jail. Fox 7 Austin's Angela Shin has more.
29-year-old Daniel Duran was arrested on December 10th, accused of stalking a 13-year-old girl at a convenience store on Windy Hill Road. Kyle police say surveillance video shows Duran following the girl through the aisles of the store. She called her mother. Police say Duran was waiting for the girl outside, and when she came out of the store,
as she began to run, he took off chasing after her.
The girl ran to her mother at the corner of Indian Paintbrush and Windy Hill Road. The arrest affidavit says when Duran saw the girl's mother, he stopped running and mumbled something under his breath.
I believe words were exchanged between the suspect and the mother, and then the mother was the one to call in to report the stalking.
Officers were able to find him a short while later.
Thankfully, they were already proactively patrolling the area, so they were able to locate and detain him very quickly.
Paperwork says Duran was found near a middle school. It reads he appeared to be staring at a group of young children outside the school.
When the officers attempted to detain him, words were exchanged and he put his hands in his pockets and attempted to flee.
He was then taken to jail, charged with stalking and resisting arrest. Records show he was previously arrested in 2021 for theft. Police remind people to be vigilant, look out for each other, and report anything suspicious.
We would just encourage parents and guardians to speak with their kids on how to be safe in public areas. When it comes to child safety, that is one of our utmost concerns here in Kyle, and we work diligently to do everything that we can to keep Kyle a safe community for everyone.
Angela Shen, Fox 7 Austin News.
A 23-year-old man has been sentenced to 40 years in prison for shooting and killing a woman in South Austin while her kids were in the car. The jury convicted 23-year-old Manolo Gonzalez of murdering 22-year-old Elizabeth Lopez. This happened last January in what Austin police called a fit of road rage. Gonzalez shot Lopez in the head, causing her to crash through the front gate of an apartment complex. Two of her sons were in the back seat at the time of the accident. They were not injured. Lopez's death obviously devastated her family. Her mother and brothers are now raising her children.
You could have took their life away. You could have. But God was watching over them too. Watching over my babies, her babies.
They got 3 boys to look at and 3 grown men, and we're gonna turn them into amazing men, wonderful men, and they're gonna know how much their mother loved and cared for them every day. Like, we are gonna tell them every day how much she loved them.
Travis County DA's office says they hope the verdict helps Lopez's family with that healing process. Well, Fox 7 has obtained evidence from the Caitlyn Armstrong murder trial. It's never been seen outside of the courtroom. Armstrong was sentenced to 90 years in prison for the murder of her boyfriend's friend, Anna Mariah Wilson. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has part 1 of this CrimeWatch series.
Fox 7 has obtained dozens of videos and images used during the trial that you had to be in the courtroom to see. This series will show you the evidence used that led to Caitlyn Armstrong's conviction. Heard on a neighbor's surveillance.
My friend is staying with me, and I just walked in, and she's laying on the bathroom floor, and there's blood everywhere, and I don't know what happened.
Caitlyn Cash walked into a murder scene. Her friend, Anna Mariah Wilson, lying on the ground, not breathing.
Just pump hard and fast, and then count out loud so I can count with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Good.
Cash performed CPR for more than 5 minutes until EMS and police arrived. Wilson had been shot multiple times. Wilson was visiting from California, staying in this East Austin home. She was a professional cyclist preparing for an upcoming race nearby. Earlier in the day, she reconnected with a fellow professional cyclist.
She was with her friend Colin. Colin Strickland. Colin Strickland? Strickland, yeah. She went swimming. I left to go have dinner with my friends, and then I came back. And this is my house. That's your house? to my house. She's staying with me.
Cash told Austin police investigators one item was missing, Wilson's bike.
I mean, it would be right inside the door.
Is there a bike? Anywhere? You see a bike?
While a detective was taping off the area,
Hey, come here. Somebody might be in here. This might be the bike.
at this point, they didn't know how the bike got there or who was responsible for moving it. How Caitlyn Armstrong became connected to this evidence is what detectives determined in the next few days before she fled the country. On the next Fox 7 Crime Watch Investigates, police break the news to the man Wilson just spent the day with, Armstrong's then boyfriend. His reaction and more evidence tomorrow night on Fox 7. Reporting from the Travis County Courthouse, Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin News.
Austin police are looking for suspects after a teenager was killed in an attempted robbery in North Austin. This happened just after 1:30 in the morning on December 13th near Esperanza Crossing and Domain Drive. According to investigators, Carlos Sotelo was a passenger of a vehicle parked in the garage of an apartment complex. Several people approached, intending to rob them. They drove off, but the suspects shot into the vehicle, hitting Sotelo. He was taken to the hospital but died the next day. If you have any information about what happened or know who was responsible, you're asked to please call APD or Crime Stoppers. One mother's fighting for justice after her daughter was killed in a hit and run almost 3 years ago. Trula Velez is suing Amazon after the driver, who was a contract worker for the company, was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Here's Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis with more.
Very smart, all-star athlete. She played the piano, created beats, artist. She was full of life and light.
18-year-old Ileana Velez was a freshman at Texas State University studying architect and design. She also worked at the Amazon warehouse nearby. On January 3rd, 2022, she picked up the night shift.
She was actually scheduled off, and she wanted to make extra money, so she decided to work this extra shift she didn't have to work.
Police say when she was heading back to work after taking a lunch break, a truck collided into her car, causing it to flip.
Officers came to my door and they told me she was involved in an accident and she did not make it. And I was in a complete state of shock.
The driver of the box truck didn't stop, but the truck was caught on surveillance minutes later near the crash, then seen arriving at Amazon's Kyle distribution facility. The driver was identified as 30-year-old Jordan Sanacola. He was arrested and charged with accident involving death, a felony offense.
I don't have any words for Jordan Sanacola.
In October, Sanacola went to trial in Hays County.
I gave him the message I know she wanted me to give him, and it was, I feel sorry for you. You're a broken person.
Sanacola was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
One battle is won, and I'm done with that. And now we move on to the second part.
Velez is now suing Amazon for more than $1 million. Sanacola was a contract worker on his way to pick up a load for Amazon on the night of the crash. Investigators say he had a history of traffic violations, a suspended driver's license, and outstanding felony warrants.
How does someone like that get a job? I couldn't, but again, we live in a system where it's a revolving door. Just little taps on the wrist and you're out committing another crime. Tap on the wrist, you're committing another crime. I am so frustrated. I am so mad that this system has not changed, but myself and so many others are losing loved ones.
The lawsuit claims Amazon is liable for Sanacola's negligence, carelessness, and reckless disregard. An Amazon spokesperson says in a statement, quote, "Our deepest condolences are with the Velez family, and we know that no words can take away the hurt they continue to feel. Safety is our top priority, and any carrier who does business with us is required to follow our strict policies and procedures. We continue to work diligently to thoroughly vet every carrier with whom we work and champion efforts to make the roads safer every day." They say they no longer work with the carrier Santa Cola was working for at the time.
I just keep focus, get justice for Ileana. I miss her tremendously.
Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin, Crime Watch.
Lakeway police are looking for a robbery suspect, and they're asking the public for help in that. Police released this composite sketch to help find him. They say back in October, this man committed a robbery on Loman's Crossing near Lakeway Boulevard. He's described as having a scruffy beard, last seen driving a newer white Volkswagen SUV. If you know who this man is, you're asked to give Lakeway police a call. A woman who has been behind bars for more than 20 years is fighting to be let out. Carmen Mejia was sentenced to life in prison in 2005 for the death of a 10-month-old baby. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has more.
I did a lot of trials of DWIs, rapes, murders, assaults, and this is the one that stood out. This is the one that somehow I felt like something was wrong. Art
Guerrero was the bailiff in the courtroom during Carmen Mejia's 2005 murder trial. In July 2003, Mejia brought a severely burned 10-month-old baby to a hospital emergency room. He ultimately died. Mejia told social workers and investigators different stories about what had happened. First, that the baby pulled a pot of boiling water off the stove onto himself. Then she found him in the bathroom, and the tub must have filled up. Then the baby fell into the tub, and ultimately, she blamed her daughter for burning the baby. It was alleged in order to cover up her actions, she took her time getting him to the hospital and never called for an ambulance. Multiple medical professionals testified that the baby must have been held under scalding water, and if the baby was brought to the hospital sooner, he may have survived. Mejia was convicted of murder, injury to a child with serious bodily injury, and injury to a child by omission, and sentenced to 3 concurrent terms of life in prison.
For some reason, when I saw the dad of this child that passed away, and my condolences to his family, when he asked this lady, when he had the opportunity face-to-face in court, "Why did you do this to my son?" in Spanish, the lady picked up her head and looked at the man eye to eye and said, "I did not do this." At that point, I felt like she was telling the truth.
Once Guerrero retired, he contacted the Innocence Project.
My whole thing and this reason that I'm here is to try to make something right that went wrong.
Since the trial, a child who was at the home at the time testified she turned on the faucet when the baby was in the bathtub, and when she did that, Mejia was not in the bathroom with the baby. An expert in scalding injuries testified the water heater didn't have a temperature protection, so the water in the house was able to reach a dangerously high temperature. And a burn surgeon testified the type of injury the baby had could be purposeful or accidental.
At least somebody has taken the time to listen to this case.
It's now up to the visiting judge. Then the case will be sent to the Texas Criminal Court of Appeals. They may deny Mejia a new trial, grant her a new one, find her innocent, or send the case back to the district court. Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin, Crime Watch.
We brought you many stories about families looking for answers or justice in the cases of their missing or murdered loved ones. Fox 7 Austin's Angela Shen tells us how the nonprofit Search and Support San Antonio helps these families through that process.
Behind many of these awareness events is the group Search and Support San Antonio. They help families with missing loved ones.
The thing I love about our group is that we never give up. We are always there. We are always supporting the families. And even when the families are exhausted and they feel like giving up, we are there to carry on for them on their behalf.
Lori Whitmire is a case intake manager. They can take cases if a missing persons report has been filed.
Sometimes stories are complicated. We might be on the phone for hours. With all that information, we start to piece together the puzzle. And it generally tells us what direction we need to move in.
Nina Brooks started the organization in 2019 after she helped search for Andring McDonald in Bexar County. McDonald's husband was later convicted for her death. Since then, Brooks has helped in some way on over 200 cases.
We all put our own time and own money in this.
They have about 20 volunteers, including ground searchers and age progression image creators.
We always need volunteers. Or, well, if you cannot volunteer, just share the missing persons flyer online.
The group sometimes works with law enforcement, or they fill in the gaps depending on the case. They also support families who've had a loved one murdered and the case is still unsolved. Whether it's outreach events or billboards, they make sure the victims are not forgotten.
It only takes one person, and there's somebody out there that knows something. There's no tip that's too small.
All the volunteers have one common goal.
We're going to keep looking for these people, and for those who have passed, we'll keep looking for justice for them.
Angela Shen, Fox 7 Austin News.
Well, we thank you for watching the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive. Our Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. If you miss them, you can watch anytime on our Fox Local mobile and connected TV apps. They're free to download. You can watch right on your phone and on other platforms like Roku and Apple TV. For more on the stories highlighted in this episode, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.